Yeah, because do you remember saying it doesn't cost anyone to say hello?
Oh, yes, it must be. Jesus, in the red. Oh, he's in the red. Oh, that.
Bad.
Oh, well, that. Red.
Yeah. All the hellos he gives. But yeah, I'd give that a few tries if you feel like it, like
with Maureen.
I will go into Maureen because Maureen has asked me to, you know. So I was in her before Christmas, before.
On a new 7-Up man.
And I went into her, and so I knew her for a good while. So I said, no, after the next week or so, you can come in to me for an hour, you know.
And kind of alternate between who's visiting.
Yeah. I was sitting talking to her, and then I went to my own place next door, and I brought in a bottle of wine, and the two of us demolished it between us.
Nice one. Bit of a session with the old.
Yeah, because I don't need to walk out and in, you know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But you do need to converse, like to keep it there.
It keeps the head active.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an idea that
and you know what? You'll catch up on all the gossip of what's going on around.
Yeah. I think it was Jane that kind of put me off talking to people, you know.
But that's what I'm saying to you. You're your own person. I wouldn't let anyone influence me like that. I make up my own mind about things, and you know, I'd say, well, she was right about that, but I'd give it a bloody try first and make up my own mind.
Although Maureen did say to me that Jane, something about Jane, I don't know, so she's a bit peculiar, very peculiar, like, and something she said to her anyway, but I didn't make any comment, like, I just listened. Then she said that John and what's Jane's husband, Christy, had a bit of a row. That was my brother who lived there first.
Oh, did he?
They had a bit of a row, yeah.
Oh, John, yeah.
And then Maureen was a kind of coming around to that the other day. She just said that, John, I don't think I've much time for Christy, but I didn't elaborate on her, I just listened, you know. But she didn't say any more.
Well, now, to me, of course I don't.
But John was like that, you know John, the way he was. Everybody around me says John was the heart and soul of everything. He was great company, you know, and he was.
Very people person type.
Yeah, my brother, he was great.
They always be laughing and that.
But after their father died, and after I moved from my house into the flat, and he'd drop up every Sunday morning. Now,
I was only thinking about that the other day.
He'd never give us. No, I was on my own, and not one of them. Sylvia,
I
had 5 of them. She was 3. She was the youngest. She was the oldest. She was 14. And
very young.
Yeah, and not
few days gone 14.
One of them ever gave me that. Did they, Sylvia?
No.
No, one of them. Except Maura, Joe's sister. And strange to say now, she lived in Rush. And the way things developed, Sheila and them moved to that area.
She sent us.
But she sent
birthday cards
and a birthday card. And
you know, 2 and 6.
There'd be 2 and 6. 2 and 6.
To get a treat or something.
And they'd shake it to see. They wouldn't look at the card, they just sort of see the thing in it.
Postal order for 2 and 6.
Postal order for 2 and 6. Which the thing is, she remembered.
Where to Jesus?
Might as well be Russia.
Yeah, but
might as well have been. Yeah.
Nobody else ever gave it, except Willie.
Willie would often maybe bring us to a show or something, or the picture, you know, that kind of way. Willie was you were closest to Willie, really.
Yeah, more like.
Dad were always giving out.
She grew up to it. I mean, she wouldn't go to school. I had to leave her. The school was too far away. So and my mother said, well, don't keep her there, school, leave her here and she go over to King's Inn Street and come back over here. So she used to do that from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So she was more close to Willie than any of them, you know. But he would come up to me and help me. But John would come up on a Sunday morning and he wouldn't give them that, not a pen, not 1 pence. But he'd laugh and joke with them and all, and they used to think he was very
great.
funny. They used to
Yeah.
think he was
your
great.
television.
Yeah, it was a bit
Yeah.
of that, yeah.
He was always that way. He'd laugh and joke about things, you know.
And will he live far away or was?
No, we
only
only lived
5
down the
minutes.
street, yeah.
5 minutes away maybe. But our Willie was grand, like he was. It's just that my mother and him kind of clashed a bit, you know, at times, you know.
That's
I never let him get away with anything, you know. He was always, he was always very grand, you know,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah, but that was
Kind
his
of
way,
grand, you
man.
know, and he said things to me, I'd pull it
She
down.
flared up, you say. you go from, you know. And, but he was, Willie, to me, I'm always thinking of Willie now.
do I,
and I'd
yeah.
be asking him to be looking after us. And
It was just brother and sisterly way we had it going on, you know. But
It worked well when it was.
yeah.
It was going.
Took them out and
yeah, that was when we were young, on
yeah, when we were very young,
Films
we'd take them
and-
out and have
That's
a
it,
nice
and we
cream
brought
at that
Paul and
time.
me to, it was on the Metropole, or not the Metropole, no, the other one. It was now Penny's, it's the Independent now. Remember there was a cinema there? Was it the
I see the Capital, yeah.
Capital,
We
yeah.
were just talking about that earlier.
And I
wasn't
think it was, oh jeez, what was that film? Cartoon thing. God, what was the name? This will drive me bloody mad now.
I hate that, like everything is on my mind, I can't remember what it was.
And yeah, I thought I'd never forget that. You know that
You
kind
can probably
of
see it in your head. And you're
Yeah, I
just
do.
thinking,
I do. Snow White and the Seven Tramps.
Seven Tramps?
Snow White and the Tramps.
What sort of film was that?
Snow White is a fucking. Come on, give me.
What sort of film were you going?
Well, he only bring it in the
Tramps?
picture.
What is it?
And
Seven
then,
Dwarfs.
and then
Yeah,
there
but it
was
wasn't even that. No, it was
at the end there was
Beauty and something on the tram.
the Seven Dwarfs.
Lady and the Tramp. Yeah, I knew it was something about a tramp. Lady and the Tramp. Yeah, was.
At the
Yeah.
end was very good too, I bring this for.
Oh, she was.
And she went in on
She used to
holiday,
be
she always
careful
bring
about
back
you
some
about
little
them.
thing, you know, and everything.
Yeah.
They'd be kid watching her
She
coming
might
home.
bring you back a coat now,
She
even.
brought us back to you and
Sheila and Anne.
Sheila and Anne, a coat each.
Yeah.
And where was she living?
Back
She
poor.
wasn't living. She went on a holiday.
Oh, no way.
You know that way, yeah.
And she always did, I have to say that to her, yeah. To give her that much
She'd
credit.
see a little bag and kind of went. She'd go over
We
there.
got
Pick
it
it
out
up.
there, yeah.
So I went to Seven Tramps.
And she got me into the job for the two. She got me
I
into
should we call him
Palm
this.
Street.
I should we call him to say
Where were you
Snow White's
before?
delight. And he said it for me for years, and I used to say,
in Abbey Street. Abbey Street.
yeah, and I used to just laugh right in that
Facing the
building.
Geraghty Street Hospital, facing there.
Doing reception, that was it?
Oh, no, it was a
Oh.
sore
Oh,
I'm a machinist.
machinist. But I always swore, and I sent her to night school, and I was earning about
you look happy with it.
15 shillings or something a week, because I was only doing a half day, and I sent her to school, to night school, and it cost me half of what I earned a week for the standard of that night school. And it was about coming up to Easter.
You
And
for
I-
Easter exams.
Yeah, and I said to her, when is the exam starting, Sylvia? Soon, like, you know.
In your college.
And she said, she burst out crying. She said, Ma'am, I haven't been going. So I said, well, no, I do my best for you, and I can't do any more. And I went over with you then to see
Went
the...
with Teresa O'Hare, my friend Homer, they used to get passes for the cinema. She worked in the cinema, and she used to get these passes, you see. We got in for nothing. And so I said, well, listen, I have to go. I think I used to go on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they were the 32 nights for the passes.
free passes.
Yeah. So used to go on after the exam. But I did go, like, I remember going up there on Parnell Square, and near the,
The
like,
art gallery.
yeah.
That's the school. Isn't it?
And
Oh,
Yeah.
type, when I
the writers'
type,
gallery.
The college was up
the
there.
writers got a
The writers'
restaurant.
exam,
there.
writers' museum is there.
Yeah, and I remember typing away and everything, and there was this fella, God help him, he'd a bit of a tone. No, I used to
Came
go
up to
as
the
well.
door looking for her and all the night.
I know that was the other fellow with the
Oh,
drum.
jeez.
I seemed to pity the God. Give me, no, that was Eamon. That was Eamon. I kind of went with him.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at the door and I said, I beg your pardon. I gave
the Paddy come up
Yeah, I
there.
was going to get down before that.
Paddy
I knew it was
come up
coming.
a bit after. And she said, I'm not the kind of a house do you think this is? I'm not having this thought. Paddy, Eamon was at the coming up from me and I told him, no, I'm sorry that I'm me out. And, you know, real honest and everything about it. They're coming on this bike. And my mother arrived in it. What is going on here? She said, I'm not having this kind of carry on here, she said. And I went out with your dad anyway. That night brought me to picture and he arrived in a lovely silver grey suit, blue short, lovely tan here. He was lovely like, but that didn't influence me really.
Go for interview with the mammy.
Why he was low.
Should I not have that carry on here, she said.
Oh, I wouldn't have anything. I was very strict actually at Verdon. I have
You're
to
like
say.
a tramp.
Sylvia, I was very strict Verdon, yes.
Well, it didn't affect any of us,
So that's the
man.
best way to rear.
Very strict.
It didn't
I was reared very
affect us very much, I don't think, like, you know.
Put good manners in you.
Well, that's so. We were always taught you must have good manners
Yeah.
and always say please and thank you. I instill that into my own children.
They all
you.
do.
And I
Even
said
young
it
Joe,
to-
the little fella, he'd say.
You don't have to actually say it.
Little fella. Even him.
I used to
He's
say that to
2.5 or something.
Darren and
He'd
Neil.
say thank you for
Wherever you
everything.
teach
know,
them
you know
their
what?
manners,
But
it
sure, we were
makes
brought
such a
up that way.
difference.
We get smacked
Like,
for didn't have
Yeah,
good manners.
yeah.
Look out the
And
window.
I see
I
my
know,
own
so
brother's kids
get
are
your
left running
father back
wild.
in.
And,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
We'll see
disgraceful.
what happens.
Like, they should be taught a bit
Well,
of manners.
A little bit of manners.
Yeah.
And it'll
Well,
stick,
see, can he
stay with them all
Oh,
their
yeah.
life, you know.
It'll keep them in control when they go to school and that.
Everything, yeah.
Oh no, can we weren't sure it's the night I got married. Very night. We had a fiasco of the marriage day.
Well,
But the night we had to go and I told you out to the hotel and looked at all the places and everything. And when we come home, Paddy came in, come in, have a cup of tea, like, we all there, like, and we go out to the door, have a little kiss and a cuddle and all that. Now the night, up to the night before I get married, 5 to 12, she showed out, Sylvia, does he realise the time it is? Paddy had better go, I say better.
Or had he no home of his own?
Yeah.
That was a great one ever there, I think.
You know, home was on. And, hear them laughing.
Probably
It must be that thing,
And
isn't
there
it?
was
No,
no,
it's a
you
game
don't have to
show
go
thing.
home, but you can stay here.
We had to be gone before midnight, that was
Oh,
the
yeah.
rule. And you couldn't, and now you say, oh man, there's girls in work and they go to dances and for 2 o'clock and everything. Like that was,
Well, you're not doing
oh
that.
jeez, that was, you know, I have no concern with the girls in work, you say, but they're not my responsibility. You'll be in here and he'll be gone and that was it. Yeah, so you did that and that was it, like.
Yeah.
You had to be in 12 o'clock, Paddy had to be gone. But up to the very night before we got married, and we'd been out in that hotel and all, I told you.
Yeah.
And left me home and so I'd see it in the morning and offered the cigarettes and all that. And she still said it down to me. Are you looking at the time? Yeah.
Mammy minding you.
But like,
And Lenny Martin was the same. Like Lenny would know. Lenny would say, oh, I'm going.
Well,
But I had an excuse with him because he had to go home to Rush.
oh,
Paddy only had to
we
go.
would send him
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. But
You had to go.
But the Thomas fella now, Evie. What? Go?
He couldn't.
He'd pretend to fall
Suiting him
asleep.
with the brush, probably.
You see,
Oh.
Lenny would have been more
Genteel,
stuck
yeah.
as well. He would
But
have
Rush was
understood.
countryside as
you know.
well. Like.
But Thomas was always like the head bottle washer, as my mother would call him.
Yeah.
And I said to her,
Bottle
washer.
that's what my mother used
Head
to say.
bottle washer. Oh yeah, did you ever hear that?
No, never.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
And I said, but I remember one night he said something about going home, and it was 2:30 in the morning, and I said something about going, do you know the time it is? The other way was going on. And I
Was,
don't know
was
what
he
he said.
Italian?
And I don't know what he said to me. I can't remember now what he said to me. And I stood in the hall, the phone was in the hall, remember in the
That's
hall?
right, yeah.
And I stood there and I said, I looked back at him, are you going when I tell you to go? So And I took up the bottle. I said, do you want me to call the guards to have you put out? I'll take that from nobody, she said. You just remember, I won't take that from you and nobody else. This is my home.
Yeah.
So off he went, and he never
Gave out again.
never done it like that again, no.
But that's the thing, if you stand up, you get manners put in, and they won't know any different but to obey.
Something I was going to say there.
But he used to be, he thought like living in Castleknock that they were the big people, like, you know.
Ah, yeah. Nams.
And you see, I
Yes,
worked at a
nams,
tailoring all my life, and
nams.
his father had a tailoring factory,
Oh, excuse me.
and it went bust, and I think he was up to all kinds of
Mischief.
behind it all,
Yeah.
but it went bust. But Thomas
Excuse me, I have to go
didn't
there.
know, and he said to me, whatever he said, I'd say, yeah, something about it, yeah. And he thought because I worked in the trade that I knew all about him. I didn't know bloody thing about him. I didn't know anything about him. But he used to be afraid that I knew, and he'd be afraid to say anything to me, you know.
Yeah. Bit silly altogether, isn't
Yeah, and I wasn't. I didn't know anything about the man.
it? I'd say you were letting on just in case.
I didn't say I didn't know. I didn't.
Yeah.
I just
Tell him nothing.
keep on
Yeah,
saying
no,
nothing. As my father used to say, Lord rest the man. Keep on saying nothing. I'm telling you, you're learning a few sayings here tonight you never heard before.
I only have the country sayings. I'm learning the city ones now. We've say nothing until you hear more.
You keep on saying nothing, my father would say. He's gone upstairs.
Walk over to that door, will you, and make a stop?
But anyway,
I
yeah.
don't have to make a stop.
Let's go to the pub.
Never liked
That's getting heavier now.
I
Did
got
you do that?
more, I'd listen like more like, you know. Don't know.
Yeah.
I can tell you there then. He never got away with anything.
You got away with nothing, Dad?
You should
You
tell
got
us
away with
that
nothing years
Hey.
ago?
you were kept under wraps.
No,
You're still the boss, are you?
As of now.
it's bossless.
You're all equal.
No, I always felt that they were all my responsibility and I had to be firm with them. No, and
That's your job.
that was my job and I had to do it. And if I laxed on it in any way, like, well,
You never
my
know why
fault.
they'll let us.
Yeah.
But you were paid off in the end.
Yeah. But the Thomas fella now, he used to think that he was,
He still
big
does.
fella. He still does, but he doesn't, not to me, you know.
Because your man thinks he's very suave altogether, is
Yeah.
it?
He's he got shite if my mum would say that.
And I wasn't going to say that. I'd say very suave.
And always trying to show off, you know.
Do you remember he'd be always asleep?
I'm always
Honestly.
asleep.
And
the kids,
He's falling asleep
they-
standing up.
And
He was standing there himself.
and all days, they were only young
Yeah.
kids, and I had a little coffee table down to sit there. He'd be sitting on the stand and everything. And they'd be running around and tripping over his feet and all that. And Sylvia and all that said, is he for real? Like, he couldn't be like that and the kids going on like that.
Just
and I
messing.
never say to the kids, don't do that, like, you know.
You'd be delighted to see him get a
Kick
tatter or something.
Oh God, it was laughable. You remember him, Graham? You did? Yeah, when he was that way, yeah.
He was always asleep.
Was he in
But he was
essence?
always trying to be the person, wasn't
Oh,
he?
yeah.
Yeah.
Boasting about everything.
Boasting about what they had. And his mother wasn't much better.
Yeah.
And I remember somebody, I think it was Sylvia, and who was coming back? No, it was Sheila, and no, it couldn't have been Sheila. I don't know, somebody was coming back from the airport, and we were up there anyway, and she was sitting beside me, and something she said about it. I don't know what I said back to her. But I said, oh, I always made them, she was sitting there and I was sitting here. Remember that night up in the airport? What was that about? The mother.
Oh,
Thomas's mother.
when they were going on the honeymoon, was
Was
it?
that what it was? Yeah. They were going on the honeymoon.
Or else when they came back,
And I don't know whether they were going or coming back, I don't
yeah,
know.
one or the other.
And what did I say to her?
No, or some relation of hers. No, she was saying Tom bought me that. And
Oh yeah, her sister was
such a
home from
place.
England and he was there.
Bought me that in such another place and that. And
All our
the
children.
other one says to my mother, and have you been to such a place? And my mother said, oh, the furthest I was, it was in
Cheers.
at that time, you know. And oh, she said, and why didn't you? She said, why shouldn't you? Oh, my mother says, I was going to tell.
Well, I just said to him, well, it's
that?
like this, as I had 5 children to rear on my own. I thought, the way I thought about it, my children came before me, and I gave them the chance of having a good education, that they'd all get a decent place in life. And so far, it's paid off. And they all went to bits and pieces, didn't they? Thomas was running for
cover.
and he's still the same, like nothing solid. Oh my God, she said. And I felt, and Paul was standing behind me, and his hand was on my shoulder, like, you know. And I thought I'd be black and blue. My shoulder.
Digging in.
Trying to calm her down.
And when I came, he said to me, Ma'am, I was never as proud of you in my life as I was. I was so proud of you, the way you stood up to that bloody lot. I felt like saying it myself, something like to them myself.
Just put them in their place.
Put them all in that place.
Yeah.
I'm sure his own father said the night of the wedding.
Yeah,
He was doing the toilet with Paul, I think. Sorry? Oh my.
What's that?
Is sharing camera on us?
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
We can't show this
I
then.
don't.
Ah, no.
Oh no, we can't. No,
No, that's all.
That's not fair.
No, delete it.
But his father was happy to be out in the toilet, and he says to Paul, well, the day went well and all that kind of thing, you know. The father said to Paul,
What do you want?
you know, he said, oh, this relationship.
No, I'm okay.
Not you.
Oh, this relationship, partnership. He says, you know,
He's getting the best of Barker.
he's getting the better bargain.
The best of the Barker.
Because Sheila, from the very start, Connell, to be honest with you, did everything. Didn't she?
She
still does.
She's very capable. She's
Oh, she's
small.
brilliant.
I think she's
Brilliant.
smaller than Sylvia.
There's about half an inch more.
But she's capable of taking on
That's
anything.
the secret, being small.
You were telling me she's
Took
the head
them on,
of
didn't
the
she?
accounts.
Yeah. She'd do anything, like, you know.
Oh, sure, her daughter Anya is very intelligent also.
Oh, yeah,
Aoife.
she's,
Oh, Aoife, is
Aoife,
it?
oh,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's
But,
very intelligent.
Sheila-
They all are. Young
What's
Anya
it,
even is.
Connell,
Yeah.
I've only met them a few
He
times,
wouldn't
but
have
you can
been-
tell by looking at
Oh,
someone,
yeah, she is.
He'd have had Chagall only for Sheila, basically.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And the night when they moved down to, I was after going on in the January. I had major heart surgery, like, and
I didn't know about it. I was
they
away.
didn't know, they were in Australia. But anyway, but in the April, Sheila, they moved down to, that's how I'll always remember.
The
And
time,
a lot
yeah.
of down there, you know. But Sheila moved down there to her, and she in the April, and it took, the recovery time it took ages, kind of, you know. But I said, I'm going to go down, give a hand, even just unpacking things out of boxes, like whatever. And I was determined I was going to do that. So I think I got the train down, and maybe he picked me up at the station, I don't know where it was. But in fairness, I will say, when it came time to go, I had it all planned about the timetable, the train to get me to Holt Junction and get a dart back. If Paddy was working or something, working late, and so that's what I'll do. Well, he insisted that, oh, I won't hear tell of it, I'll bring you home. I said, oh, I want you to bring me home.
Well, no, he was. In fairness to him, he was like that.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted anything done in the place, like, you know,
He'd help out.
he would. No, I have to say that. He was
Yeah.
very good at that. He was very obliging, like, you know. I have to say that to him. You know.
But I'm coming home, you know, he insisted on bringing me, and no one to go in the car with him, like, to be honest.
Because he'd start romancing.
Romancing out of him and bullshitting, and like driving home anyway. music was on.
Bit of a daydreamer.
God, they say Walter Mitty.
That's what we used to call them, Walter Mary.
In the Sharon car, he started off about, you know, the lads do the job, you know, that came to help me move, and they walked like Trojans. They're very good of them, you know. Brought them for a few pints, you know. I didn't tell my mother this until a few years ago, by the way. They walked like Trojans, he said, and brought them for a few pints, and, you know, good night, and all that. Yes, here I am looking at you, you know, that's great, Thomas says that. And he says, and then the lads were saying to me, why, like, she'll not be giving out, and it's 3 young children, like, you know, she'll not be giving out, you know, and only they're moving and in the pub, like. And here I, yeah, and, well, I just said to the lads, well, the way it is, what wife could give out to her husband when he's after buying her a 4-bedroom house for her 11th wedding anniversary?
Now Sheila's money, like.
Is that why you crashed the car that night? Did you hit him a box or something?
And I said, what? And I just felt like saying,
Let me
let
out.
me out of this car. I said, what? Only for you, Sheila wouldn't. He said, would you get real, Thomas? Jesus sake.
You said that to him?
Yeah, I said, Jesus, would you get real? I said.
We all spoke to him like
but he
that.
kept driving me home, and it was all as if nothing happened, like. And I just thought, home, I was fuming now, and I thought I'd never. So look, just drop me at and I get a dart from there. Oh no, bring it home, man, fair play and all that. So.
Sounds like a lovely sort of
never get out of that shack.
Totally just like.
Says I, who the name of Jesus? I said, does he think he? Really, who does he think he is? Like, no.
I remember they lived in Swords at the time,
In Swords Manor.
and I was
Swords
there.
Manor.
I remember that house.
Yeah, and I was out there,
Nice house,
and
wasn't it?
and he was given like that. He was
Except
giving me
he
a
was in-
lift home, and I said, the bus is over there. They'll leave you to corner of Frederick Street. It's okay. No, we insisted. But anyhow, he started romancing out of him.
As usual.
Oh, as usual, you know. Coming by in the car, turning the car around and go down that way, past their own place. I said, what to say? Little over 3 year married, a semi-detached house, and what else did he say?
2 cars in the drive.
2 cars in the drive and a
3
semi-detached.
things, wasn't it?
Oh, there was something else. And it was like as if something was after erupting in me. Now I looked.
Would you like a vodka, man?
Oh no. And I said, in a few minutes maybe.
You might as well have it now
I'll have
then.
it now, babe, before they go to bed.
No, you don't think I'm another one.
After that, you don't only a little one.
Are we?
We'll still have to go to Granges before the race course. Anyway.
Well, then it's up to you.
A small one.
A small
I'll
one.
make
Well, we have ours outside. We won't be using it.
Yeah, I'll vodka outside. I'll chill vodka.
But anyway, yeah, I said to him, I beg your pardon.
That's about that Julian.
Did I hear you right that time? What? It's like,
What's in this?
you have a
now?
3-bedroom
Grand,
house.
you know?
Like you wouldn't have a bloody house
What's
only
in
for
it?
Sheila and
No,
no
that's
money in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's in
7
it?
up.
In the first
You poured
place.
it.
It's only 7.
And as for the cars, it's like the one you're driving now, they're driving me home to your job. And Sheila has her own car, and she put that house around you. And it was like, shut up.
Fair right here.
And off he said, no, I couldn't stand nothing like that, I have to be firm. We could have a little bit, and then he said, don't know what he said to me, he said, Thomas, see what, stop the car, I want to get out of here. No, I couldn't do that, you see, because I'd never face Sheila if I did, that'd be more than, you wouldn't let me out of the car.
You knew well. Not to- Well,
But that was the kind of man he was, and he's still the same, like, yeah, they're separated, I think they're divorced, I don't know, I asked Sylvia that.
he was living on her legs.
But he was, yeah, and I think she got, and the mother knew it too.
Yeah.
And
Well, did he not have a
Mother was
good
the
job
same.
if the father had the business and that? Oh, sure, the business was gone, was it?
who?
The father's business
Oh,
was
the
gone
father's
before,
was gone,
so he
up
couldn't.
smoke, yeah,
Yeah, he couldn't kind of live off that.
no. Oh, he was dead at this time.
Father died on a plane coming back from
On a plane.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
Heart
At
attack or
least he was
something,
out
was it?
having his holiday.
Some kind of a heart
Which one's
attack.
yours?
He died on the plane anyway. I don't know.
Jeez,
Right,
that'd
he was
be hard,
only
wouldn't it?
asleep, you know.
He was with Eddie, wasn't he? Was it Eddie or
Oh, you
something?
went a few of them.
Few of them.
Sam was there as well.
Oh, we woke up dead, like.
No.
I think Thomas and Eddie and
Graham, would you do a favour? Would you do a thing for
three for
Seven.
seven
Yeah.
was on the
Is it in the
plane
last
with
thing?
him.
Do you
He
know,
got to be in Italy, I
That
think,
was a
for some
really
reason.
important one, wasn't it?
And they were on the way and he died on the plane.
They all just thought he was asleep or something.
Portugal, like.
Yeah.
I suppose they
That
did.
wasn't that expensive. I just saw
I was
it.
reading the open. I'll tell Sylvia as well.
Instead of wrapping a cling film every time they...
Yeah.
Sylvia.
I shouldn't be saying all these things about
No,
him.
we shouldn't, especially.
It's not nice, no.
I won't leave the walls anyway, so you've nothing to worry
No,
about.
no,
Yeah,
no.
Nana is on camera.
But Sheila is such a
It's on.
steadfast,
He had to be filming
She-
me as a
She's a pillar of
a pillar of everything, no, with me or anything.
Well,
She'd
have
be
you
giving
got
me
more
advice,
seven up out
or
there?
advice.
Yeah, I'll
She'd
get
give us
it for you now.
advice, like,
Please.
no.
She's the second
And she's
nanny.
a great job in the law department and all, you know.
They're sticking them out.
You know, and then the mother knew this.
I think there's another one down there.
And
I
when
probably
she-
couldn't stand the person with such need.
Yeah, and she done all the talk and everything. But I used to put them in that place. As you can imagine the way I used to put them in the place, you know.
But sure, you could stand over them anytime, I suppose,
Yeah.
like, compared to what they'd produce.
The bullshit.
Just because I lived in the flat and at the time and
I mean, the bullshit he used to come out with.
But I was going to say to your mum there, Sylvia, said I'd wait for you. You were saying about his father died in an airplane.
Oh, we did, yeah.
I was reading this book about all the little secrets about behind what to do to passengers on airplanes and how it goes on. And there was one thing about passengers that die on an airplane. Then the people always think they're asleep. So they were saying if you see someone that the air hostess comes up and starts kind of tucking the blanket in around them, you know they're dead. Like,
oh God.
but then
Oh, I never experienced.
then they were saying because the aisle is so narrow, they can't get them out in the trolley or
Of
anything.
course, without being, yeah.
So they put them up in the food trolley and have to bring them out in a food trolley, and that's how they get.
Well, I know they had to wheel him out in a wheelchair off the plane. I know that. Somehow I don't know who told. It must have been Sheila told me that they wheeled him out from off the plane
Yeah,
in a wheelchair.
but the other way the wheelchair wouldn't get down the aisle. To get him to the wheelchair, they would have had to put him up in a food
Get to
trolley.
the thing.
Yeah,
the
I
force.
don't know about that, but they wheeled him from the
So
plane.
you'll be getting your drinks.
That's
and
why I
all.
was just.
I know I know that they wheeled him.
Wash it down.
Or something on after.
But he was, I don't know, him or the mother was the more,
No, for them to be
the
laughing.
most, always thought they were the person.
Bragging.
Bragging. I don't know which of them it was. Which
Johnson now?
I don't know which of them it was now. One of them was as bad as the other, you know.
Highfalutin.
Yeah.
But sure, some people like that can't help but live in the past as well. He'd be living in when he got.
I
his-
just said there's no breeding in them to start. Because if you don't be going and talking about it, like, I mean, do you see me going and talking about it?
I was all sitting here talking about it.
Do you
No,
hear
you
me
don't.
bragging them out? No, I never do.
You never stop. The minute I open the door, you say,
Is
I'm
Is she bragging
Sylvia.
again?
Yeah, and she never calls herself Sylvia Geraghty. She always says Sylvia Dennis for some reason.
Yeah.
Why do you do that? I know I do, I call you, but then there'd be an excuse for me, like it'd
I'm
be,
only mess.
Yeah.
I'm only mess.
People looked at me from me and go, Sylvia Dennis, you know.
yeah, that you know
it's
years
Sylvia
ago, you
Dennis.
know.
It probably
Where-
seems very strange to be called Dennis though again, does it?
No,
No?
doesn't know. And no,
Because I'd say fine.
Cullen and Betty Cullen, they'd see me and
Oh, well, they let face
Sylvia
it, yeah.
Dennis, you know, and just, I still call them Pat Cullen and
Yeah,
Betty
yeah.
Cullen.
Yeah.
I don't even know their marriage names.
It's their
like,
original names. Like,
yeah,
well,
I don't know their names. I think one is Farrell, maybe. I'm not even sure about
But
it.
you see, you kind of grew up with them, like, or around them, like, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it's a
I didn't even know them when we.
No, that's what I mean around them, that, you know what people
You
be
just
calling you.
the
yeah.
name,
Yeah.
you'd connect with the name, yeah. But
Look at Dad's Guinness.
So what's the
the fountain.
original family name,
3 cans of it.
Miss
oh
Dennis?
my God, my mum's
Yeah, what's
Walsh.
Oh, what?
Mum was Walsh.
I was
No.
Walsh.
Ask Graham. Do you remember I was saying about the Granny Bea?
Mia Walsh.
Yeah, she's Bea Walsh, and I always say to Graham, you remind me of her. You're the image of her.
Oh, I think I remember you saying that to
Do you
me
remember
one
me saying
time.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's the image of her?
You're the image of my
Oh.
granny being.
You did, you said that to me actually.
And I said the
one
only thing
time.
that's different is your glasses.
You're not amazing, thank you.
And she's Welsh as well.
Yeah.
Now she's originally Bridget. Oh, I think it's Conway or something is her original name, but she's married Welsh, like. But
No, I never heard of that now. Actually, my real grandmother, my grandfather, I don't know. I grew up Granny Keaton, as I always called her Granny Keaton. But
That was the granny that took us over, kind of, wasn't it?
yeah,
Well, when I say granny, the
my
woman.
mother, yeah,
Because
because I was young.
my grandmother's mother, my mother's grandmother, took off over to
Scotland.
Scotland with an artist. You see?
But our mother, my Aunt Lily, I often met her when I was younger. I'd meet her in the street and she'd say to me, "Oh, you're getting as tall as a house. I'm getting as tall as, you're getting as tall as a house."
Jesus Christ, you must start shrinking very young. Well, unbelievable though, I mean, the things.
They lived in Whitehall.
Whitehall, that's right,
They
yeah.
lived in Whitehall, yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
something
nice,
happened to her, didn't she? Something
Yeah.
happened to Lily, didn't she get some disease or
Whitehall?
something?
yeah.
My Aunt Lily or
It's on the
Lily.
M1.
The woman
Yeah,
that
just
we
if
used
you're
to
going
meet
Yeah,
down
all
that
beside,
way.
yeah.
with the
That's
dog.
yes,
The big church
God,
that's sunken
that's
down. Remember we cycled around it and there's
And there was Annie
bangers
Anchor.
at the
She
church.
was small,
Yeah, yeah.
like, but she used
It's
to
like
be
a monastery or
real,
something.
Petite, like. You know.
yeah, but she'd be real
Yeah.
like that.
There's
You know
bingo
what?
hall.
Yeah.
No,
And but
that's
then didn't she
around the
get
corner.
some
That used to be
disease or
cinema.
something, breast
Yeah.
cancer or
But I mean down
I
that
don't know
way.
what she
Yeah.
got.
I know.
Or did a daughter get it? I don't know who got it.
She had Lily, she had
I
Annie
always think
Anchor.
of Whitehall.
You see,
I know the church you're on about with the green
my
roof.
grandmother's
But
name was Annie, Annie
I always
Walsh.
think as the other one
Your
out.
real granny.
The real
Like the
granny,
them
my
one, the
father's
main
mother.
road
Yeah.
from Condra.
Yeah.
And
It's on the
It wasn't
M1.
your father's
Oh,
mother
then
that
maybe
took
I'm
off.
thinking the right
No,
one.
no,
then.
my mother's
It's a red brick.
Mother, yeah.
Yeah.
but
And it has a colonnade
She-
and a separate bell tower.
there was
Yeah.
Paddy
Yeah, that's the one that always looks like
Jimmy.
monastery to me.
Whitehall Church.
Paddy.
Well, I don't know what the name is.
and my
It's
father
known as Whitehall.
and Lily in the family. And each of them.
That stretches
the
out
first
from Condra
girl
then, doesn't it?
had to be
What?
On the far
name.
side, Whitehall.
Must be the fashion or something.
Touches out
And
Yeah.
from Condra.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird
Kind of
area, Whitehall.
traditional
It's kind of
thing,
not
yeah.
really
So,
anywhere.
Annie
you know
Anchor,
what I mean?
there was.
It's not an
Yeah.
official
And
area.
Walsh.
Oh, is it
And
not?
she called
Well,
her
it kind of
Nan.
is. I think where the
Oh,
cinema,
yeah.
where
She
the
was
bingo hall
Annie
is
too,
Whitehall
but she called
Village.
Nan Walsh.
Yeah.
And
And
That was,
that
was
touches
she the
off
woman
from
that lived
Condra.
out in
Yeah.
Big End.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went out to, Paddy brought us out one time.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Condra,
And we
I tried
thought
to place
we were
the
on a
shape
big
of it
trip.
because it
Yeah,
hits
yeah,
Fairview
yeah.
as well.
And the girl that lived in
And it hits O'Connell Street type.
Balbriggan or somewhere
Manchester
like that, our
Square.
daughter.
Our
Yeah,
daughter,
it hits
yeah.
Whitehall.
Wasn't are they?
That's a funny shape.
Same
there.
people,
They were
yeah.
all them people, yeah.
So that woman that lived out in Ringsend, or
That was
Sandyman,
Nan
wherever,
Walsh.
that was my granddad's.
Oh yeah, it was all on your granddad's
Yeah,
side.
but what was she to my granddad? Was she his
Our
sister?
nephew, our niece, his niece.
Or his
I
niece?
do that a
Yeah.
few times with the camera,
Yeah.
put my hand over the
Oh,
lens.
Anne
to
wrote
get-
out a thing for me years
No,
ago.
at the show
Oh,
to get the
Anne wrote out a
light
thing
off
for me
it.
on a piece of paper, like a family history thing. But on that one page, I told you so much, like, but it was in my bag, like, it started going, disintegrating basically, and you take it out every so often, you'd look, but I keep saying, I'm going to ask Anne to write it out again for me, when I should remember the date.
She might remember it herself.
You know.
And Dennis?
You know you can get it done
She
up in a
said that,
book
right.
for you, a genealogy book. We have one
Oh,
for
please, shagging
Leitrim,
interesting.
but it's all dad got it done for his brothers
Well,
and sisters.
we've almost done it or two for the whole family, like, you know.
That's what
You
dad
know who's
did.
I believe very much into
It's
that?
great to have.
Yeah.
Mihal.
Is
Mihal
he?
is very much into that seemingly about the family tree thing and that, you know.
Yeah, well, there was Nan, Lye, we used to call her Lye Walsh.
Lie, Elizabeth.
And we
yeah.
met somebody in Marks and Spencer's, yeah, Lye. And it was her,
I have a lie
I
at
think it
home.
was our mother. It
Lizzie.
was our mother or our aunt, I don't know. But I can't remember. We met them in Marks and Spencer's, I remember. And it was our daughter's daughter, so it must have been our niece.
Oh,
Remember,
a
I
few
think you were
years
with me,
ago.
yeah.
I
And-
remember that actually, man. Fair play.
And she said to me, so, and I said, oh,
Excuse me.
and I said, no, this is Lia's daughter,
Yeah.
and her daughter, and her daughter, Lia's daughter, her daughter again said, Lie? What do you mean by lie? And she said, oh, that's what they used to call her. They used to call her Lie. But you see, they called her Lizzie, but she outgrew that, you know, so she just
Put her on
It
herself.
matured.
lied.
That
Yeah.
kind of been, she didn't want to be kind
But
of
I was
called that,
I was so
suppose.
much younger than them. And my father was the youngest of the family, and the boy back there. But I was a good bit younger than them.
Excuse
Lyle
me.
now was the eldest of that family, and so I didn't know. I thought her name was just Lyle. I never questioned in my mind like that. Lyle's
How
a funny
would that be
name or
a name?
anything, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But remember, and she's just the daughter there. Lie. Why do you call her Lie?
Just that was just lie.
But that girl stopped us at Max
I think it's
Spence.
a bit more
Yeah,
we didn't
sense
even
than my
say.
uncle Vincent.
I wouldn't know nothing.
She lived in.
Peter or something.
She lived in Balbriggan, didn't
Gerard's
she? Was it
name.
you lived in
Well,
Like
was
Balbriggan?
it
Andrew
her
or something.
Or,
Jared Moore.
but
His
yeah,
name
we
is
knew
something.
her then when
Yeah,
we
his
were.
name's
She was
Andrew or
very
something.
nice.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
nice.
she was.
Whoever
Andrew,
she
but
was,
something-
she was
Uncle
very
Jerry.
nice.
Yeah.
His name isn't Jerry.
His name
Because
not
I
Jerry.
could
It's
have passed
something
us
else.
by, I didn't really know her.
His
No,
middle name's
no.
Gerard. Yeah, he's called Jerry, but his
But I love that
real
when
name's
someone,
something else.
and you'd meet someone
I'll show you it in
from
the
years
genealogy
ago,
book.
and
All dad's
What
name
do
and
you say?
everything is in it.
the
And if you
fact
say his real name, will he respond?
of the thing that they
I don't know,
recognise you.
Is it
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Andrew?
it's very
Say, but
good.
Jesus, it mustn't be that bad, and it
Yeah.
mustn't look that bad, and they still
I think
remember
Vincent
me,
is
kind
Peter.
of, you know. You know, if you ever met someone out of school, like, I often met Carmel Leonard, she was a mad thing in school, and she was stone mad, and she's very defiant, like, against the nuns and that, you know, and the name she'd be calling them. We often met her in Marks, and she did very well for herself, like, you know, she seemed to be, not without bragging or boasting about, but you just know by the way she'd be talking,
Yeah.
like, and
She turned out
said,
well.
remember in school, and there were this, that, and the other, and here, like, but that used to be the mad second, she was as mad as a hatter, like, and she'd be giving out hell about the nun, and she was telling me to do this, and she, what right she got to tell me to do, you know, never for her she'd be. But you often met with me
I
actually.
suppose I did only.
Yeah.
If I
Carmel
did see
Leonard
her,
was her name.
if I did see her now, which I'd remember, but like at the moment it won't come to me. You know.
Is she your one that got you smoking?
Oh no, that was true.
Teresa
Oh,
O'Hare.
Teresa, yeah.
Even that name is stuck in my head.
That's in my head. I've
Paddy
heard
gave
that
us
once or
sneezing
twice.
sprains away in there. Teresa, yeah. That was
And if I got her a new
pictures.
coat even, the mother would say, oh, you got a new coat? Next week, Teresa'd have a new coat.
I remember
She
only
laughed
She
Easter.
was the only child, like, you know, but the father, I don't know what happened to the father, he died or what
Yeah,
happened to him,
think
I
he
don't
took
know.
off years before.
But she'd have everything I got her, she'd have the...
And I remember it was
One better, of course.
one
Yeah.
Good Friday, Hamels was open only
Yeah.
for a half day, or up to 12 o'clock, or
Something, yeah.
close
Sit
from
down.
12 to 3, I don't know what
Good
it was,
Friday,
you know,
they
in
used to
those
do
days.
that. You know.
Mm.
And my granny and my mum brought me over to him and got this coat. Now I thought I was made up, like I just thought, Jesus Christ, I can't believe this, can't believe it. Like, it's probably about 15.
About that, 15.
Yeah, say it's about 15. Within the year maybe after my father died, Lord of mercy.
And I got you do you remember the dress I got you?
That was for this funeral.
Oh, that was at the funeral, yeah.
And I had to put it up there for Christmas, you know.
Because he died in November. you
Died
know.
on the 17th of November, and he brought me home this dress. And you didn't go out, but I was got this dress was
Brought
brought
home
home
to her,
to
you
me,
know.
and this is your dress, your father's funeral, and be getting put up there for Christmas kind of. But I thought it was 7 and 6 or something,
I
wasn't it?
can't remember. No, it was gorgeous. I mean, she went to work for
7 and 6.
the holidays or something, and a man said to her, where'd you get the dress? And he copied them. And he copied the,
He asked me, Mr.
he
Moore,
copied
yeah.
the bottom of the dress for to
Oh, yeah.
make it, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Not as true as God. It was
And the
beautiful
coat.
made thing now.
The coat was lovely though, and she was mad about the coat.
But the coat for the Easter, and you said, now, my granny really said, you don't tell her about that coat now, because then she was like, well now, here I am, well it's Good Friday, she couldn't go over now and get one, you know.
Oh, that's what it was. We said no,
she
she
go on the Saturday.
shop is be shut. She wouldn't be able to
Went
get
on
it.
the Saturday. I couldn't not tell her, and didn't I go and
Delighted.
tell her about the coat? Probably showed it to her. I can't remember that part. And Easter Sunday, of course, you know, they're going to mass and all the usual. And
The trees had the coat.
coat very simple, only for the in the. Mine was more of a fawny colour. Hers was in the grey colour. We was after getting her mother to bring her over and buy
Little
one.
witch.
Oh, she was a walking bitch, the young one.
I got to the point, anything I'd be bad, you don't dare tell them next door. Why, I don't know, shit. What difference does it make, but
It was just the kind of that you
She
could have a bit to
didn't want
yourself for it, and
anyone
it's
to
like,
have
yeah.
anything, you know, that she couldn't have. She had to have.
And at
You
least
can
you knew,
have it,
you
I
knew you
can
were
have
there first, like, so
Do you know that
she
kind
had
of
to
way?
come.
Well, the mother used to, when we used to be going to the pictures, she used to stand in front of the mirror, and I used to go in for my tea on the Sunday evening, and you'd be given the tea and tinned milk. It was milk and sugar together, you know, that kind of
Oh,
milk.
the condensed milk.
condensed
Oh,
milk, yeah.
Jesus.
Is that horrible?
It's real
Oh,
sweet.
jeez.
It's very-
Coronation
I
or
don't
something
think it's
like
still
that.
out.
Yeah, but it's not
You
even
use it
that
to
good.
make toffee
It
now.
was
Is it still out though?
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
condensed milk. It's for
Didn't
cooking
know
now
it was,
only.
yeah.
But that's what you'd be given it, and I couldn't, my stomach used to be torn.
But she can't even touch that stuff.
And I said
So
to my
sweet.
granny also.
Well, I grew up
hate
on that.
So
No,
my granny used to give
Oh,
me the
wouldn't be able
milk
for
going
it.
in.
I grew up on that.
She
no.
used to give me the
Yeah.
milk going in, my granny. And then you toast the bread at the fire on a fork, you know.
Yeah.
And then we'd trees be up getting, I'd be ready, like I'd be just go in and be supposed to get your tea and a bit of toast. That was the whole thing, you know. And trees would come down and she'd have herself a dinner. And then she used to stand up on the thing on the fireplace, the heart. And she had this, it was called pan stick, the name of the
Yeah.
stuff was. And
Oh.
she used to start off here. She started off there and she'd go around. Then she'd get it back to it, she'd go in a bit further.
It's makeup.
Yeah.
But that's concealer or something, isn't it?
No,
thick.
no, it was a kind of the powdery makeup. It was kind of a liquor
It
powder.
would be
I
like a
can't explain it
lipstick,
to you.
only
you know.
for it was makeup.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was in a like a thing, like a
Looking
lipstick.
at different shades
But
in it,
she
you know.
used to be just keep putting it on her.
Okay.
Here I'd be looking at her. And Josie, our mother, used to say to me, "Would you not put a bit of that on you?" And I'd say, "Oh no." And my granny and my mum, they'd kill me. If I put it on, they'd kill me. She put it. But look at my Teresa. And here she be. Look, she lovely, and she got lovely legs all the same. And I wouldn't mind. She had legs like tree trunks. Do you know what I mean? God love her. And my trees, look at your poor skinny legs. Here she be. Look at your poor. You only had a little bit now, Horley. And here I'd be. Yeah, but I didn't realise. You know, I didn't. Here I used to be. God, she must be.
It must be lovely.
Yeah. And then yeah, I remember Michael Murray saying to her when I were all out on the stairs, or we'd be playing handball or whatever in the lane. And then Michael Murray said, no, Mike Murray had a bit of a stammer, very bad stammer actually, not a bit of a one. And but he told Teresa one night, she went, "No, you remind me of Teresa." Who's that? Oh, he said, Liz Taylor. Liz Taylor. Yeah, she was, oh, did you hear what he said? to
Completely
her?
ripping the neck,
And
like.
here it was like, God, imagine anyone telling me I like Liz Taylor. God, must be, you know. Of course, then when I got home, I said to me granny and to Willie, says like, oh, Michael Murray said that Teresa was the image of Liz Taylor. You know, in all innocence, like, said, God, imagine someone saying that to you and all that. I thought any more about it then. But then the next night, or whatever, the next time she called for me, whatever, I didn't really answer the door. I was up in the bathroom. I didn't really answer the door. And he showed up for me, Sylvia. Yeah, Liz Taylor is here. And I said, oh, Jesus, now she's going to know him after saying
I
to
should be horrified.
I was mortified. I said, oh, Jesus, now she's going, well, yeah, I was going mad. But now, when I came down, Teresa, what did you say? That's the second person that's after calling me Liz Taylor this week. You know.
And you're convinced.
Oh, like, it's like, God, yeah, you know, because I was so relieved that she didn't take that.
She took it the wrong way.
You know, yeah. That's the second person that's saying I was like Liz Taylor this week. So there must be something in it. So, oh, definitely, you know. But she
Must be those tree trunks.
She was, oh, Jesus, you married her over the years. And she married this yoke. They got married then about a month after us. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Mary Cavan and Paul got married a month before us. We were in July, and then
There were three of them used to be together.
Yeah, and Teresa and Moko in August.
Moko?
Moko.
Not quite Coco.
What was his surname?
Moko MacDonald.
MacDonald.
And she was sitting Moko to stay from Jesus Christ Almighty. But you'd meet Teresa on and off over the years, and every time, God bless, every time you'd meet, you'd say to yourself, oh, Jesus, love to get her, put her
Put on
head
a lot of
into
weight and everything. You know, she's got very
into the
sloppy.
thing
You
up,
know.
put a shampoo into her hair to be stuck to her head.
Oh.
And she remember meeting her, and I was actually been up with you, and I remember it was in the eye, like, it was a real wet day, maybe around March or something, and I walked into trees. I hadn't seen her in a long time. Walked into her in the eye, like, oh, Sylvia, how's that? She said, imagine that we're going to be 25 years married now in the summer. And I said, yeah, God, never think, you know, where the years go and all that. Yeah. Did you do anything special? I said, I haven't planned, like, I don't know, haven't thought about it really. We're going to, Michael is taking me to Kenya. Now Kenya, like at that time, she always lived in a fantasy world. Like it wouldn't be, if you bring me to Spain or Paris or somewhere
mad.
London or somewhere, no.
Kenya. She said, no more going to Kenya than I was going to Kenya, Connell. Do you know what I mean?
Zulus.
But this is the kind of
I think she used to read
imagination.
books, and she used to.
But
live the
she used
books,
to be
you
good
know.
at doing the composition. You know,
The kind
in
of
school,
fascinations and
you get you had to do a composition, part of your homework. You do a that was what it was called. Write a story basically. And Teresa used to get good marks for her compositions. So she was
lived
great
with a dream, you know.
great out imagination.
But you know, she no more went to Kenya than I did, like, you know. And God forgive me, anything ever comes up on the telly, I just say to Paddy, God, I'd love to walk into Teresa house, she'd be able to tell me, like, now, you know, what it's really like with her being there. And
She died, didn't she?
Teresa?
Did she not?
Teresa, I hope not. No.
Or was the mother died? The mother died.
Josie
Died,
yeah.
yeah. Of course, I lost contact. Not going up and down to Willie and that, I lost contact with all down
well,
there.
no, that went, you see, and then, sure, I used to always go in with the Christmas cards.
Cards and all,
For
yeah.
Josie, and I'd leave
And
one for Teresa.
Mr. McSherry
Yeah.
and Mrs. Moore.
Mrs.
You know.
Kavanagh and all
Yeah.
that. But like that,
And they all
stuff,
went, yeah.
you know. I used to, sure, up to a few years ago, I used to go in with one for Mary Kavanagh. I gave that up, yeah. I used to go down one. We used to actually go down on Christmas to Charlotte and Peter.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And I gave that all up as
But they were nice though.
They were nice. We just see encountered being the fact that I stood for Elaine.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you couldn't go with a present for Elaine and not buy for the other two children. You know, that kind of way. And and I think kind of Elaine would have been, I think it was after when she was 21, I said,
Give it up now,
it was
yeah.
stupid. At least you go around with trees, like she gave me trees.
yeah.
Like, do you know that kind of way?
Getting a bit silly, kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
So I kind of decided, well, like she's 21 now, and you know, probably wouldn't know the young one now, she's still in front of me. So she must be about, oldest Darren is 37, so Justin would be 37. Elaine be 36, you know? only a year between them or something like that.
No, talking about
Then she had
standing
care.
facing the church, Dominic Street. You know, there was the tenements. There was 3 tenements there, and this Mary Merrigan lived up.
Years ago, like.
Years ago. Mary Merrigan lived up near the Northern Hotel. You know where I told you in Palmerston Place.
Yes, yeah.
And I used to be. She was my pal. I was always up with her, and.
Mary American, the one she thought she was a film star.
Film star, yeah. They all thought they were film star. I don't know what I
Well,
used to be.
going by that photo that's in the hallway, you weren't far off with yourself now.
No, I never
You
gave
look like a
myself
film
any.
star.
But they did.
But doesn't she look like a film star
She
now?
fucking does.
And I went anyway, and
It's easy to get a part in it.
I had the 3 of us were always together, you know. And I was going to tell you something about Mary.
Mary American, you were saying.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Well, that's been.
Kathleen, oh yeah, she had a friend, Kathleen Kavanagh, who lived in that house. One of them houses facing the church.
Oh, yeah.
And I was with Mary one day, and Kathleen was coming up to Christmas, and Kathleen asked me to go down. She was getting married, and Kathleen, and she asked me, I don't know what it was, I used to be handy at doing, but she asked me to make a headband for the wedding. I don't know what it was. It wasn't white, I know that. But anyway, I made it, and I brought it down to her. And Stephen, a fella by the name of Stephen, a friend of hers, answered the door. Insisted on leaving me home and everything, you know. I remember that much. But anyway, I gave him up too. But anyway, Mary and Kathleen were great. They were all great. We were all great friends, like, you know. I was going to tell you something about it now, and I forget what it was.
Now,
She's over in the tenement.
you were saying, Sarah, about the 3 tenements where she lived and Palmerstown Place. And
Yeah. Can't remember.
about them thinking about being film stars.
Oh yeah, she.
I'm only trying to remind you to see what you.
Yeah, I know she used to.
Don't worry about it, ma'am. That happens to me all
Oh
the
no,
time.
about being. Anyhow, Kathleen had a baby, and I stood for the baby. Monica was her name. That's all I can remember. Monica. I don't know what the surname was now. I forget. But Monica was Kathleen's name, the bit that I stood for. And I remember going into work for the half a day and getting off at 12, at 11 or something, but to
Stand
go down
for the
for
baby.
stand for the baby.
Yeah.
And but I never. I always said that to myself. You hear people say keep in contact with your godmother. I've never, don't even know where they are or what they are or anything about them.
Yeah.
Never heard any more about them.
They're supposed to
Only
be
know
your godmother
Monica.
and your gaffer.
Yeah,
You know, if
Monica was
anything
her name,
happened
that's all.
to
Yeah,
Yeah, mine,
you or
yeah.
the that they would
Yeah.
kind of look after
Monica
that
was her
child.
name, and that's all. I don't know now what her. Kathleen was the mother's name, but then they got married, so I don't know what the surname was. All I can remember is Monica.
Well, down home,
Yeah,
like now,
isn't
it'd be always like down through the years. It would have been family you pick for the godparents. It's only
Oh,
recently
yeah.
they start picking
But she
friends.
had no. There was only herself, you see,
God,
Oh,
family
yeah.
kind of, yeah.
and.
It's only recently now
And
people are
as I
starting to pick
used to go up,
friends.
I used to go up with Mary to the Vivette at first through Mary, and the mother was a little, she was a little tiny little one, and she was really little, like a little statue, you know. She was that kind of a jittery little old one.
Frail. And
And she used to say to me, "You stay here for just a few minutes, Mrs. Sylvia. Stay here, don't go home yet, don't go home yet." And anyhow, it was a foregone conclusion, like, you know, that I wasn't at that wedding, no, wasn't bridesmaid or anything.
Yeah.
And the mother used to say, "Oh no, she's going to be the godmother now, she's going to be the godmother."
Glasses now.
I remember the fella she married, his name was Stephen. Don't know the surname now. And Monica was the baby's name.
I remember standing for that young lady, and I stood for one of Greta's. I stood for Anne Dudley, and I remember
And I stood for
I
John.
had to get off
There again,
school
I know her, but I
School.
did never see her.
for to go and be the god.
Mm.
Now you only went, I think it was up in Gardiner Street Church, and we went and got to church, and then she said we're going down to me granny, and
Yeah,
that was the
that
whole
was it,
thing,
that
like.
was
And I
the-
said to her, and do I have to go back to school? And Greta Lordimer said, she says, oh, well, I don't know, we'll have to see our granny about that. No, I couldn't, you know, but I thought just the mere fact of getting off, or I don't know if I went into school and got off early to stand for the child, or
Really did, yeah.
if I didn't go in and then I was trying to get a whole day out of it, like, but I remember saying to Greta Lordimer, I said, well, I have to go back to school, like, and she says, oh, I'm trying to size me, Granny, but she would have been a bit afraid of her, like, even, you know, and she says, oh, I couldn't know, depending on what your Granny says, like, you know, because there'd be more, you know, more.
I haven't seen Greta in years either. No, just, well, not years, but a good while. You know.
Bad news.
Oh, Greta's
Greta's dead,
No, I
man.
think they're
For God's
I
sake.
what I mean is
You want to go to home?
Joan.
No.
Joan. Yeah.
No? They're gone now, like?
I think they're gone.
Growing up with Greta was.
Well, then do you want to
You
just
were-
go straight into
So-
Joanna?
It might be that, yeah.
Nice
First
person.
one.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, Granny, you're so
It's
see
on there.
Mark and them. Oh, it's a pity.
And when I was there with your grandfather, and I came in late. Now, there used to be Mary and then in the bottom of the bed, and me and Greta in the top of the bed.
Oh, yeah.
And they put her
Yes,
arm around
I
me when I
don't
get into
know how
bed, and
they
she
manage.
said, "You won't go out with him anymore." No, did you give you sweets or anything? When the sweets are on the bed, I have to keep them a couple of sweets each. you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, "No, she won't go out with him anymore." And she changed me going out, and he don't go up with him anymore. So, and I went down to his mother's one night, and I was a bit later coming in, and she put her arms around me, she said, "Oh, don't go down to that house anymore, she won't." Mm. And like, there were really no blood relations.
Yeah,
you
when you
know.
think about it, like,
Yeah.
well, she obviously felt as,
She did,
Yeah.
yeah.
this my granny, someone else didn't want her. My granny did, you know. That's the way to look at it, like, she went into a good family and, you know, could have been put into an orphanage or something.
She probably would, they probably
Yeah.
would, and they probably would.
Yeah.
Good wonder.
I heard from Mary since either.
No, since Christmas time.
No. Oh, that was before Christmas. She up at Christmas?
Yeah, she went out to her place, she did what you and
Was that
Enda-
at Christmas?
around the Christmas time, yeah. I don't know if it was just before.
I know it's before Christmas.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, when I
Taxi
say
out
it could have been a week
Yeah, it's
before
just
or
a
something.
look.
But you went to her,
She
came in for you.
Reminds me, I still have that pudding on top of the fridge and have a cut it yet.
Did you not?
No, I'm only after remembering it now when we spoke about it.
And when you really left your head back in that night, you did say to me,
Would you like a small
do you
one,
want me
Suzanne?
to give you
No,
a
thanks.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
piece of,
honestly.
would you like a piece of pudding? And I said, you don't let me eat that anyway.
Yeah.
They never liked
I never
anything
could
with
have
fruit.
still up there on top of the fridge.
Well, geez, in
In the
the
silver
Easter,
foil. But they say
I did that.
they
yeah,
often
one year.
did that years ago.
I used to often keep it, and by the time I get around to it'd be halfway through the year, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
threw them out, like, you know. Now, Mary's puddings were something else.
Oh, she
weren't
did,
they?
yeah. She was.
Jesus
Oh,
was
I
nice.
won't be into the pudding.
No, none of you.
No,
funny
none
enough,
of us eat them. No,
would
but
you
they
think
were-
one of you would have, but not one of you would have been into them. And so I kind of never bought. I used to buy a Christmas cake and all years ago, but I don't even do
I
that.
don't buy them either now because nobody
Used to make them years ago.
I used to make them.
Gave it up.
Deirdre, I remember Deirdre making them.
I did. It was always like
Yeah.
that hand at doing things like that. Yeah.
I used to do the Christmas cake.
I often made me pudding too, and you'd have to boil them for about nearly 2 hours, wouldn't you?
Oh, more than that, more than that.
Do you like scones?
Yeah, sometimes.
I might make scones tomorrow, man, will
Oh,
I make them fresh ones.
Well, you see what way it goes. Oh, I've got a lovely piece of eye of the beef. You know that?
Yeah.
Nothing but.
You did, it's
into
lovely,
the
yeah.
butcher's today. And
It's lovely,
said,
yeah.
I had to be up there.
so the oven will be gone.
Yeah.
Well, it's too
Well, it's hot after dinner.
It'll heat up the house.
Well, I said it'd be a nice little thing now on it.
And nothing like a warm scone with a bit of chocolate.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you prefer them with or without raisins?
I don't know.
You
Either
don't
way.
mind either way?
No.
I think there's
More, she'd be more with.
Yeah, Sylvia.
Well, I tell you could do both. You could.
Wait, I'll have to get the raisins.
You
There's
could
no
break.
raisin ones left.
I
Mine,
was
there's
going
no
to say I'd
raisin.
give you a few. She's back home in the house.
It's only the same as what you asked me for the last time.
I don't with the snow tonight. I don't think it'll go very far tomorrow though.
What?
With all that snow tonight, I don't think it'll be going very
So you
far
drink
tomorrow.
it. Taste it, you
Like,
know when you
have a great
taste it.
chatting time there to himself. I think he's looking at take that or something.
Sure, he's delighted with the surround sound and all that.
Anne hasn't been too well, I don't think. She's an awful cold one, but
Who?
Anne
Nor Lenny.
and Sheila said no, she's on the mend. She's a lot better now.
Well, I said to Sheila said, I might say to no, I said, Sheila, I'm not. Jesus, she's more than welcome. Any day, the week.
Yeah.
But I said, don't.
I know
Feel
the weather make me
compelled
sad. That's
to
the way
go.
I do be all the time.
I said, please don't.
Oh, no,
And as well as that, bit of a break. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
said, just have a day like to do
A free day, yeah.
So I said, don't. So honest to God, I said, Mama's grand. You needn't be worrying over it. I said, if you want to come, you're absolutely more than welcome. But so don't feel the need that you have to. That's what I'm saying. It's like going by the forecast there, Sheila.
Well, I'm going to be a bit
Wise it, you know.
the weather.
And you can't step outside. The roads are, the paths are legal.
Sheila is so good though
And-
to me, mother grand.
And when Deirdre just come in on
Lost
Saturday
without
night,
her.
I do be in bits, absolute bits. And she go on, she
Yeah,
won't
but
go
look
for
at
the
the
last
time of the
bus.
night
She won't
she's
go for the
going
last
home.
bus. And like you, I'd be saying, you think maybe she thinks I want to get rid of her, but I'd be just concerned about her.
Yeah,
you
sure,
know.
you'd be ringing up. She often rings me on a Friday evening, and I'd be early, like, and if you want to say like at home, all right, like.
Just to make sure you're not coming
So
back,
that's-
that is.
No, if you're ever with Graham and I'd be phoning, and you probably say, that hour will miss days. But it's just, I can't help it, like, do you know what I mean? It's just, that's the way we
No, so they
are.
were saying she's just making sure you're not coming back.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, yeah.
That reminds me, it just crossing my mind now this minute. You know the 2 boxes I have on top of the wardrobe? And I said I must get down some of them photographs, look through them.
Oh, the nice box, yeah, I know the type
And
you mean, yeah. Oh,
I don't forget the day, but a couple of days ago, what day it is even, but a couple of days ago, I was going over to pull down the blind or something, and the 2 boxes are on the ground. And I said, Jesus, I don't remember taking them down. I remember saying I'll have to get them down, but I can't remember taking them down. Unless I said to Sheila that I couldn't reach them or something. And
them
Sheila,
down for
she
you.
would take them down and leave them there.
You just
Hey.
find them
But
then.
there they were on the ground. And
Maybe that's what it was, man.
It's a ghost.
And she might have wanted you to be getting up
Yeah.
to reach up for
Yeah.
them, like, you know.
To give
that-
them-
That's the kind of a thing
No.
Sheila do.
Yeah, yeah.
And the size of her, like,
Yeah.
she'd get up and get them. She'd get up, stand
Oh,
on
she's
something,
like Trojan. Jeez, she makes me tired even just thinking about her.
She
Like,
gets through the place and she does painted and God knows what.
It was gas when I was there the other day.
Everything.
Remember when the snow and the thunder and all when I called over at
Yeah.
lunchtime?
Yeah.
And it was like the olden days. Remember she used to be always out with the not the vacuum thing, you know, the push vacuum thing.
Yeah,
No, it's a
the carpet
push.
sweeper.
Yeah.
Mm.
And she was there sweeping the floor.
Yeah.
She's obsessed with sweeping the floor.
yeah. You think
Obsessed.
I'd be after doing that about 12 o'clock maybe. And she comes up, she does it again.
Just in case. Jeez, I haven't seen one of them carpet sweepers in years.
you know what I mean?
And he was trying to get her, take a little bit of lunch before she goes. I said, just sit down and again you get back home.
Cleaning, you know.
Yeah.
She'd
And
rather
there's
do
none of
the-
Ethan or Anya, they wouldn't think of doing anything like that.
No, and they don't want for Sheila.
No, that's what I mean. They wouldn't even do
She
that.
probably
like
never
that.
had to, so they wouldn't know any
Wouldn't let them,
different.
Or she'd probably say to them they didn't do it right or something, you know.
Now, you might give a hand out if you were going for down there for a bit of a tea or something.
Mm.
Now, you might, Aoife might give her a bit of a hand.
Anya, I think, would be more inclined to try and help, like.
Who?
Anya.
She does shag all.
Oh, she doesn't, but like she'd be, oh, can I do that? Well, in my place anyway, she would, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
No,
just,
she don't mind her. It's Aoife. It is though.
And she turns off your telly so you can't turn it back on then. Remember she presses the button.
Yeah.
Just pour out on. It's getting enough to do it.
No, but Aoife
Of course she
would.
did, yeah.
Aoife would actually. I've noticed her.
Sorry.
if Sheila be making it, getting
Oh,
the thing
setting
around,
the table, yeah.
she'd be having her doing bits of things and that.
I should have to set the table and
Here's
that,
Anya. Little fancy, what, like what's going on? And in the American
She's a little
accent,
girl,
here I
isn't
am.
she?
Oh, it starts that American accent. Here, what are you talking American accent for, like? You're Irish.
Maybe it's because our father was at the beginning of
Shagging.
America
Yeah.
for a couple of weeks.
I feel like saying, well, how do you think you're
Did you ever see the ad for the bread? Your man arrives back and he's there eating, it's Irish
my
fried bread
Jesus,
and him with the American accent. The next thing, where are you going with that American accent? And you only over in the States for 2 weeks.
Yeah, Tom. But all this
That would be
business
Thomas now. That would be
drives
Thomas
me.
down to the ground.
Amen.
And I'm not being smart or anything, but isn't that the fact?
Just to let you know he was there, like.
Sure, we used to be trying to figure out, remember Paul Dennis on the phone, I said to him one day,
Paul, you're skipping me now.
he used to be going around in this black polo neck, he was never out.
Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that?
You remember
Is
that?
that what you were
That's-
calling me Thomas earlier on? He's like,
Oh yeah.
we're like up and change or something.
That's because I was actually talking about him. He said, I
I have a
keep doing
t-shirt
that
from the,
lately.
I have a t-shirt from
Because
the
you were on the
bag.
phone me last night, and when Joanne came, I kept calling Joanne Una then, but he used to be always in a black polo neck, and he used to think he was actually, and Paul Dennis would be on the phone, and how's everyone, me brother-in-law, and he said, as usual, says, well, the conclusion I've come to now is, he either thinks that he's James Bond or the milk tray man, so we can't really figure out who he actually thinks. You know the way he used to be over the roofs and all, bringing our
Oh yeah, jumping across.
in the black polo. So I say, we don't know now really if he thinks he's James Bond or the milk tray man, and Paul then being stitches on the other phone, on the other end of the phone. And but he really thought that he was. Remember when you were away in Spain with him? And he got up to, was he in his
Got up
black
to
polo
sing,
neck?
yeah. I don't know about the polo neck, but he got up to sing. And he really thought he was,
Going to be discovered.
they asked me to go up to sing. I was at the leave and going on now. And
Did you not wait for him?
and he said, they asked you to sing, and I'm sure, and clapped me and everything. Oh, he really, and really cheered him, But I
Kind of sad in a way, really.
he's very sad. He was, one time, what was this I was going to tell you? I know I was
We were
telling,
saying about being away in the holiday and getting up to sing.
no, but it was nothing to do with that. Paul, I was telling Paul, and he broke his heart laughing. Oh yeah, he was sort of getting this job, and he all of a sudden, like, he didn't know anything about it. We just walked in, it was his manager.
He was always a manager.
Like, he didn't know the first thing about it. He just got the job. Next one, he was manager.
The
I
bus
remember-
stop thing.
Oh, no,
Bus
this
stop
was
cleaner.
later. And he was standing anyhow, I was telling Paul about him. What's this he said to me? Oh yeah, Paul was coming, I remember he was in Swords, I lived in Swords, and I could see him coming back from, remember where the Sphinx was, along there. Paul was, and he said, I'll help you to dry you up, just before they got the dishwasher. And anyway, Paul and him were standing there, and here, I happened to look up, and here was Paul to me. I said, what's going on over there? So I had to find out, and they said to me, oh, we started all this palaver
Bullshit now.
about the job he had. And I was interviewing this young man the other day for a job, and I don't know what the job was. And I don't know what he was saying, but I know the gist of it was that he was saying to him, do you want this job or do you not want it? Because there's plenty more I can give it to. He didn't know the first thing about it. He was only barely there himself, and here was Paul. When he came up to me, he said, never leave me on my own with that fella again, because I'll really punch you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
And Paul would.
Hack it like,
yeah.
you know that.
You
Paul
wouldn't
would bear
take the
people.
crap, like.
No, he can't
no.
bear people like that.
He doesn't do it himself,
he
and he wouldn't let anybody else do
Well,
it.
he'd been married to that one though, when you think about it that way.
Gestapo.
Hmm?
He's married to that other one.
Who? Oh, Paul,
Your
yeah.
daughter-in-law.
I don't know who he's married to anymore.
He's not married.
That's the best answer ever.
No, but what I'm saying is, he took her from her.
Oh yeah, from Phil, yeah.
But at least she really was genuine.
Oh,
She-
yeah.
You know,
No crap, like.
there was crap, but like there was, she could actually afford to talk about, because she was what she said she was, and you know.
Oh, you told me she was lovely.
But
Oh, my God, give me some notes. Still typing, yeah?
enjoy take that, Paddy.
Huh?
Enjoy take that.
Your face is very red. Are you very hot or what are you?
Very, yeah. Take that one.
Your blood pressure. I hope your blood pressure's
Take
now.
what?
Take that. Is that what you've been listening
No,
to?
can you dance or something? The thing on BBC, all these dance things.
Can you dance?
Yeah.
You
Paddy, you're spending too much time in there with Sylvia.
take
That's what you're watching.
Pardon?
Did you take casualty? I hope to Jesus know you did.
I did.
I never look at that.
No.
Casualty.
I have cancer, I'd be probably frozen.
Casualty
I took a
and
photograph of
Holby on the Tuesday night. It's like a spin-off of Casualty, you know. Holby, it's beyond on BBC.
Tuesday on. Casualty is on them.
Saturday.
That's
Anyway,
what
Steve,
yeah.
pray for bed, you won't be looking
Now
at
Saturday
that.
does be on at different times, you know.
Oh yeah.
But Holby is not
What you
on
doing out there, Paddy?
snow.
Oh my God.
No.
Still snowing.
Well, the only way I look at it is with enough
He's
food.
got there with none of no coat on it.
Yeah, but you know, Paddy, he's only going out to the
So he wants the shed.
He's gone to his fountain with his Guinness.
Guinness in the fountain thing. You know the water feature thing out there with the,
Yeah.
the Guinness cans are out in that freezing.
Oh.
You haven't got to put them into a fridge,
Have to get a shot of that.
you know.
And then he said,
No, you
I
don't told me it was in there.
he's gone out to his Guinness thing.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Fountain of Guinness.
He wanted to get that.
Let's see your fountain. Jeez, they're big flakes, are they? What I say?
You got that?
Hold on.
Here, look.
Here, go up to the light over here. Proper chilled.
Bunch of I can't take any more of them.
You're falling snow in your hair.
Look at it's bucketing down.
Oh, he was flying your hair.
Look at Paddy's thing of Guinness, ma'am. Oh, look at his can of Guinness.
Oh my
It's
God.
out in the water fountain.
Don't need a fridge in this weather.
I'm going to
Don't
say
need a
out your fridge.
I don't need one.
It's actually colder than in the fridge, I think. That was not frozen.
You want to be careful, don't freeze there.
You know the way they sometimes explode if they're...
Yeah.
I hope you're not taking
It's Paddy,
that you
don't
can't
blow
hear
your
us all
head.
talking about this.
Ah, no,
fella.
I sent the video to Thomas.
Pity you never...
Happy Christmas.
Very
It's a late present.
Isn't it, mother?
What?
Pity you never actually experienced
Oh, yeah.
them, you know.
Oh, we'd probably be telling you all about America now. And I don't know whether he was home for Christmas, and I said to
So you
Sheila,
told me, yeah.
and I
Was he
said to
in
Sheila
America?
last week or something, I said,
Who's that?
did Thomas go
Tom.
back? And she said, sure, he couldn't go back. I don't know what she said.
No
She said,
jobs
there's
in
no
America."
jobs in America.
That's colder than in the fridge.
Isn't it? What
I don't
temperature
know
is
what
it?
that
About
means.
1 or so, is it?
He didn't go back, or he did go back, but he stays in Castleknock with the mother anyway, like when he is home.
She doesn't want anything to do with him, you know.
But sure, does he not have his 3-bedroom house he bought for the
Four.
wedding? Oh, 4-bedroom house for the anniversary.
The semi-detached.
Sheila has that because Sheila owns it.
That's why I was laughing.
She bloody pays for it. When did he ever pay
Sheila
for it?
won't, just
Sure,
want to
it's-
be
No,
wouldn't
she
even
wouldn't
let
have
us.
him. She
But sure,
wouldn't.
it's her house, so.
But she would know. She'd make that
She made
quite
it.
like
My
you know.
brother-in-law came out with him one time, and he was going. Jim was going, you know, and Sheila, he said, "I'll be off, Sheila," and she said,
Going
"Jim,
down to the pub and that, yeah?
forgetting something."
Just a race course now.
Forgot your
Oh,
poodle.
yeah, you have
Paddy,
to-
did you give me back my mobile that time? You did, didn't you?
And
Let's go, you must have put
Yeah, I think you did. It's
yeah,
probably
he
me back.
charged him for you.
Dad,
It's been out.
the way things are going, I think it was a good idea to bring the laptop home
Sheila says,
for work.
"Take him with you." And here he was.
If it continues like that.
Say that tomorrow.
Go. I do not want you here. And she's saying to Jim, I don't want
The
him
funny
here,
young
Jim.
people can't go
Get
to
him
work
out
and
here.
go to the
And then probably,
where do you go?
then probably have to give him the poor brother a poor spiel.
I don't care where you bring him. I don't
Isn't
want
the funny
him here.
people that talk about not going to work and that, and yet they go down to
And here was Jim going out the
Yeah.
door
I
today.
can't walk to inch
He
a
was
car.
Jim going out for me. And I said,
Good.
What can you do?
that's what she said.
Yeah.
I have
That's
no
mad
idea.
though, isn't it? You might have some gall on you though.
No, he's just, but his father, Lord rest him, man, was the very same. Like, you know, he always,
It was inherited.
yeah, he thinks that, you know, and his mother is not much better. She's not. That night that Sylvia was telling you about, we were all sitting around up in the airport and the jewellery, and she said, have you got much, going very many places? No, and it's something about the jewellery, and I said, no, says I didn't go. I was too busy trying to rear my children, get them educated, because I knew she never did that. And something what I said to her about the jewellery.
But you couldn't afford to buy
Yeah,
jewellery.
something like that. I said to her that, you know, but
Enough to spend
But
your
that-
money on without jewellery.
yeah,
Yeah.
but she was showing off her
It
range,
was a
you
bit
know.
heartless so off to do that.
No, the
Your
life
mother's
I
you know what,
predicament,
I
you know.
left it all the kids to rear.
If
on
anyone
my
had
own.
any sense, and even without the situation or anything, they wouldn't be at that.
No,
Because
I
you know,
wouldn't do it. I
they-
wouldn't do it.
They
No.
only talk about it if they don't actually really
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
They just it's there to show off.
Yeah.
And if they were wealthy people, they wouldn't,
wouldn't
say
be
it.
talking
They'd be
about
modest about it.
I remember Annie Doyle next door to me. She used to say that to me. She said, "Think she'd tell me, I'd say that to you because I know you won't tell anybody else." And then she said to me, and
I said, "You're
like,
Must be
getting
that
worried."
black
That means
jump.
I'm Thomas.
I think I'm never coming back
Sweet.
here again if I'm getting
she'd
told
say
this.
to me, and she'd say to me then, and you never really talk about what you have, do you? And I said, "No, what I have, and what I haven't, I haven't."
I wouldn't have to do it
And
out.
yeah, that's what Anna and Phyllis is always saying. That woman reared them kids because she thought because she sent them to secondary school that they were, didn't she? Now
Oh, they thought they were.
they thought they were, and neither got a job worth talking about. Phyllis worked over in the hospital. I don't know what she done.
It doesn't really matter what they were.
Where they work.
And Nan worked in
Do
the
you know what?
factory.
This doesn't matter, as they say, where you worked. You're wealthier than any of the rest of them because you know that your life stands by you. You reared your family well,
Yeah.
and your family has reared their family well.
Well, that's what I do tell myself. Yeah.
You don't
But
need to
she-
tell yourself. You
but
know
she-
yourself.
but-
The
Annie
daughters
Doyle-
used to be giving her because she'd be going bragging. You
She was
know,
always
down
go down
on
to
Moore
Moore
Street
Street
and
to the
everything.
dealers and they'd be telling them all about what they'd done.
And
you
the
know.
people were fed, the old ones were fed up listening to her. And she said, she was there having a row with Anne and Phyllis one day over. Said, so there's Mrs. Dennis in there, and she said she could have newspapers on our wall, or she could have them lined in newspapers or lined in gold, and no one would know what she had. And she said, why can you, we said, why can you not be more, instead of going and telling them all this, that and the other.
Her business and
Kind
your
of a good,
business,
decent
yeah.
person.
We all bragging out. She was always,
Yeah, she
you
was.
know,
She was always bragging.
but at the end
And
of
he
the
was
day,
a grand man. Paddy, he was a grand man, wasn't he?
He was.
Paddy, yeah.
Probably a quiet fella, if that's what he was
Big
putting up
man
with.
and very down to earth and, you know.
Down there, it wasn't the word. He used to drive you mad then sometimes.
I would, he'd drive me mad now. No.
You brought her in the Herald every day. But now she had to, like, there was stipulations about that. No, here's the paper. You give it down to Betty when you're finished with it.
I bet she'd bring it back
up
to me.
to me. I'll give it to Phyllis on Saturday when she goes. You know, this was that.
That's really a fact.
But a great little mechanism at the same
Like,
time. Yeah.
he wouldn't just give that paper to anyone. Like,
Oh no.
Paddy, just out of chance, by chance, Paddy answered the phone or the door.
No, I
one
wasn't
day,
there, he would give it to
and
him.
Because he knew he wouldn't get it back. That's
the
why.
paper. Oh Jesus, he would. But like, he'd
No, but I don't mean it that way. That Paddy wouldn't
I
get it back.
know,
I mean,
yeah.
like if a stranger took it, he mightn't get
yeah,
it.
he'd be that. That's his little
He set in
mind.
his way. Everything
Yeah.
was in that way. Like,
And if it
you know.
wasn't your hand that was taking it,
He
he didn't
cleaned
trust
his
it.
brasses on a Thursday, and he did his polishing on a Thursday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had his bat originally started off, he had his bath on a Saturday.
If it's Saturday, you
If
say.
it's Saturday. And then it went to Friday. Jesus, at one stage it went to Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Frody knows where I am, so I'll be back to Saturday again, like the way, you know. This was a bad woman, and no, should I tell him this about his,
Oh, go on.
I don't know if I want to know now.
He told my mother.
He take his bath, and
the vest.
No, it was her who told me. His vest, you used to call me
Festus.
And his underpants, and he changed them. But before he'd leave them out for the wash, he'd dry himself all around.
It'd stand out onto his vestus on the floor.
And dry it. Before he dry himself.
Let the water
with the towel.
drip off him a bit before he dry himself with the towel. And it kind of used the things that had taken off him to half dry himself. And then put him
as dirty as when he went into the bath.
Exactly.
I mean, like,
I think I used that to listen.
simplistic.
Had I been a person that went around talking, I could have made around there. I could have them all and fits a lot. But I never said anything. Sure, I didn't, Sylvia. Never said that.
There's no need.
Trustworthy. That's
No
just
need to, like, you know. But that's the type of sympathy.
I'd say it to these now, you know, but I
yeah.
wouldn't say it to any day.
We wouldn't say it to anyone.
No.
Amongst ourselves, what do we say?
You'd have a
How was
laugh,
Paddy
you know.
getting on with his vestas? Like, you know.
But the day then,
disgusting
she was
some
very
people
bad,
do. Harold.
and she was dying, and she was sick all kinds of thorns. But this day he came in and he said, "Oh, quick, come into her quick." And I ran in really quick. Because the door went on in, and she was up, and she was dying, actually, nearly gone.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting beside her. The woman is dead and buried now, but I remember just taking her in her hand of mine and saying, "Hold on, Annie, because they're coming. The help is coming.
You know.
We're waiting for the ambulance to come. There's help on the way. Hold on, for God's sake, hold on, will you?" And I'd squeeze her hand, and she'd just do this, "Yeah, all right," like, you know. But she was dead again. They came, you know.
But he was worried about the table in the hall.
Yeah, when we
wasn't
came down the stairs, and there was the hall.
Listen to this.
The hall door, and then there was a
excuse
little
me again,
up that way,
that's
and the stairs going upstairs, and between the end of there and the hall was a little hall table,
You know.
and he was bringing her down, and the ambulance men came,
man.
and they were bringing her down, and they had her in a kind of a chair thing, like, you know, bringing her down in
Get
the
her
chair,
out.
yeah. And they were bringing her down. One was at the front, the other was at the back. And I was standing at the top of the stairs, and he was standing at the bottom. And when the fella that was in the front, getting in at the end, he took the table away and put it to the side.
To
opened
make
the
room.
door, and let
No,
himself.
obviously.
And he really jumped on me. What's he doing that for? What's he moving me table for?
No way. Do you know what he probably had? What you call it, Asperger's it's an autism.
The
where if
syndrome that they have to have the things.
That's autism, yeah.
Yeah.
That if anything moves, they get very.
Oh, he nearly. I was telling them, she's just as I jumped with the way
And
he
then didn't
showed.
she ask you to get
She's probably all over the place. His
she
poor
asked
wife
you to
dying.
get
Yeah, he
cushion
was.
or something or the
Yeah,
thing for the chair
two
in
chair
gynaes.
covers in gynaes, and I got them.
She asked me, ma'am, you know,
And I got
she
them
wasn't
for
going out at all then at that stage.
her.
You
So
know,
I got them for her and I
help
brought them back. And she put them on the back of the settee, didn't she, or something, to see what the...
I think the things for, you know, if you're putting your head up against it like that, you know.
Headrest type
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. But he can... I was at the...
Fiver or somebody a fiver.
I don't know what they were, but I brought them in anyway.
This one knows the price of
And when I
everything.
came
I
in...
think that's what it sticks out. I said, my jeez, imagine going.
Is it the funny things that
But when I
stick
came
out
in
now,
anyway,
isn't it?
I came in with them and I handed them to her and she was delighted with them and she put them on the back of the settee, like, you know. Oh, that's lovely. They're lovely. They're grand. Are they all right now? That I can get them changed me. But with that, he walks in at the door and he looks at, where did they come from? Where did they come from? And so she said, Mrs. Dennis, they get them for me. I said, if you don't want them, I told you, I could bring them back and get them. I have the receipt here, there's yours, I can get the money back for you. I only done a turn that I was asked to do. and I done it. And then he just said, it's all right, it's all right. But just to get things, to spend money, like, need loads of money.
Loads of money. She had the money hidden under the mattress and everything for the grandson, hadn't she? She don't
Sure, Jesus, he must have had something wrong with him if he was so regimented and even something new in the house.
She used to go down and sit in the lilac to get away from him.
Yeah.
Now you could smoke in the lilac at that time and that, you know.
She said he was boring, very boring.
Or she'd go up into Roach, she wouldn't even get a cup of tea. She'd go to Roach and just have a few smokes up there. Go into the lilac, sit on the bench there, have another few smokes. And she'd bring her a trolley, but she probably wouldn't have anything in it going home. But just to get out, she felt, you know, to get away from him, because he kind of was doing her brain in, you know. But he was
too exact.
Like, imagine the poor woman. So nowadays to be divorced. And,
God, yeah.
But he was don't get me wrong, he was a nice man. It's just that's
his funny way about him.
His sister reared him, and over the Thomas Street area, over that way. And his sister was a dealer over in Thomas Street, and or up that way anyway. And I think like the life he had, like he was everything.
Maybe he had to be fairly
driven into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it all stemmed from that, like,
you know, maybe from a young age. But he couldn't understand, like, everything, every single detail of his life was done to, like, military precision, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, cleaned me brasses.
I said brass.
Me polished before, and the pledge, you used to want the certain pledge, you know, the furniture pack, so wanted a certain pledge and all, didn't he? And
he must have had all
the things he'd be asking me to bring up, and I'd be going around the place looking for them, and if I didn't get the exact right thing,
she'd be to me, oh no, they asked me to get.
You poor thing going around like a magic.
Who was this?
Paddy Doyle next door. You know Paddy Doyle.
Oh, Paddy.
But they come in with the well, now if I got in, if I answered or you know what I mean, it give me the Herald. She knows what to do, and here I'd be.
Or he'd give on,
me. I know. Here I'd be. I know. When I tell you to do it, I hear that. And I was like, why do you take that stupid Herald out? Why don't you just buy? I'll buy you this shagging Herald myself.
I said I wanted, but it's just, I don't know. I didn't like. I felt like
it was part of his day. Yeah.
And he'd be insulted
if Paddy answered on it, you wouldn't give the Herald to Paddy. There was someone else, and he wouldn't give it to them either.
No, but he give it to the kids.
Certain people.
He give it to Thomas.
You know.
Oh no.
I wouldn't mess with you now.
No, I don't think so. But he was just a very strange kind of a man. It was so. He used to have to be down the GPO on a Friday morning. I think they used to think the GPO was going to run out of money for his pension. You know,
you don't have to be there to get it before anybody else did, you know.
Like, just make sure. No, that kind. But she had a few grand sat under her mattress, hadn't she, for the young fella, Dave?
Maybe for the grandson, you know, David and what's the other fella's name?
Evan,
yeah.
Evan.
Yeah.
I have to say though, I love those little kind of things that people did before, because even then with my dad and that, there's all little funny stories about the neighbours and that, and I love.
People are not like that anymore.
No, you don't hear the funny stories, and I love to hear them.
No neighbours anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Away with that thing.
No, I know if anything, I know myself, if anything went wrong, I knocked in there or
somebody
I hope if anything went wrong, they feel they could knock in it. I wouldn't like it to be any other, but it's all gone completely different. Like,
it
know,
that's what I was saying earlier. There's no neighbours anymore.
Well, Patricia was in there. Patricia was in there. She was all right, wasn't she? And
she was the other extreme. She was a bit
too much.
But like, and him, how was he? Did you ever see him?
I don't know. Like, I haven't. They were back here for a year. Must have been 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Graham. Tricia and Martin. Remember they came back here to live in Baldoyle for a year. Because Bunnies was doing our.
We met Anto up in Sutton one day. And he's broke up with the girlfriend.
Yeah, he broke up with Sinead.
But he was with her that time because she was sitting in the cab beside us.
Yeah. He broke up with
And who
Sinead.
was
Go
Sinead?
away.
She's a good looking girl.
He's with some other one now.
Up there in the house?
No, he's back home now. So,
In later or
must
wherever,
be late now then.
wherever they live?
Why was him and Patricia not together anymore now?
No,
No,
the
not
son.
Martin. Anthony, the son, man.
Oh, the son.
Yeah.
Oh, the son, yeah.
But he was going with a girl. He's gone for a few years. He got a
Done
place
it.
up here in
We'll leave your
those
house.
new places.
We'll leave your
Houses up here
Who?
at the bridge there. And
He's his girlfriend.
we live with
Be
her.
three.
No, Graham says no.
Oh, is he with
broke
Sinead
up
again?
with her.
His girlfriend. The new one.
Oh, he's a new one, is he?
Yeah.
Jesus, he was quick getting over that.
Yeah.
I think he kind of fancied himself, though, that young fella.
The way you said he fancied himself. Or putting out the cigarette.
No, but I do. I do. He was a good look. No, he was a good looking young fella, but so, there was something a bit slithery about him. I don't. Where the other poor age, it was. How are you, Sylvia? How are you, Paddy?
He's so funny.
But and Bunnies was all right. Now. Bunnies herself was all right.
Mark's a bit
That's
crack,
the
though.
mum, is it? Bunnies?
No, Bunnies is the daughter.
Oh.
It's her, Tara. She's if
Oh,
Tricia.
she
Tara. You should start off like that and then call her Tara.
She had the 21st there recently, didn't she?
Yeah, we were invited to it. We didn't go. Now, mind
I
you.
remember you saying something
You were at
about
that.
it.
weren't you?
Shagon didn't go. Wouldn't go
Or
to
I
it.
was-
No, you said to me to go down, but I didn't go.
It's nice to
I don't know if you went.
ask you though.
Well,
like,
it was
you know,
very
yeah.
nice now, you know. But I didn't go. Didn't want to go, to be honest with you. But no, it's just that they were
Sports ages now. We'll have to go soon.
completely different
All
to
right,
the way
we'll
we
get
were,
down
and I
Yeah.
couldn't relate to them. I was
There's a
like,
break in the weather.
I used to be saying to Paddy, how in the name of Jesus do they live that lifestyle and go on the way they
Give him a
do?
blackcurrant or two when I get
You
down.
see, if one of them had been a bit sensible,
No, Graham, because it'll make a show of
would have
myself.
loads of money.
Thinking and
It's Joanne and Steve.
getting meals and
Oh, there's no one else there.
I don't think so.
Oh, that's grand.
Could we end up outside of hers?
No, just a
That's
load
what I
of them
mean,
there.
that they could have
Because of
had a
that.
comfortable life.
That was
like,
They're
terrible.
kind of
I
waiting
mean,
for us, I think.
you know.
All right, let's
And to know
get
it's
ready.
through your own fault, like, you know.
Well, do you want to leave that running for a while?
That day when she
Yeah.
came in.
I might just
I said,
leave
"Oh,
him.
do you know what I'm going to do with you, Graham Geraghty? Only I won't do it when your nana's here.
I'm going out to the pub. What?
What are you going to do with them?
He has a camera on us.
What are you going to do? Tell me what you going to do.
Bash that camera onto your head.
That's worth a lot of money, that camera. That's
I hope
my
you got
SS.
insured.
My
And you better
SSIA.
delete all them things you
One
have
thing
there
for
on that.
sure, if Sheila arrives, we certainly won't be showing her.
Well, if Thomas arrives, at least he'll be
Oh,
cameraman.
no,
She'll
don't.
be in. Actually,
You'll
won't
never
want to
show
show Sheila
that.
that. She'd have a heart attack laughing.
Sylvia, wasn't it in the paper there the other day? Thomas is a famous cameraman now for Disney Pixar.
Well, that would be him, all right. That's what he would like to be. Something like that.
Miss Dance, will you have another one before I go?
Oh, God, no, thanks, no.
Do you even a 7-Up or something?
No, grand.
Will you have a refill, Sylvia?
No, at the moment I won't. Conor, thank you all the same. I know, it was earlier.
Oh yeah, it's right.
What's going on, ma'am?
It's only
Oh, sorry,
about
Nana.
Okay. Oh, there he's taking her.
Ma'am, what's going on outside?
There's nothing.
Open the door.
Snow is going on.
All right. Is she going to be able to see it?
What was that?
20 years. Remember the 2010, I'd say? Breeder, what's her name?
Here, I'll be got frozen in the morning.
Breeder, Long's car. Or no, Angela, I think.
They're all
Angela.
white. Every car in the place is white.
Yeah.
They're all white cars.
Well, my car is white
There,
anyway.
Over there, look.
When you hate, that's what I'm saying, Angela's car. You'd hate walking out on that and then putting your, you know. I remember that when I was a child, you'd hate making the marks, and because it'd be disturbing the whole thing, like, you know.
These. Go on, make the mark. Go on. Walk out now.
You're making
Hear the crunch.
You better right now, Graham.
Jesus, the thoughts of walking out on that. Right, now 1, 2, 3, go. bad, Graham.
It's not. It's not cold.
Bit of crunch.
It's lovely, isn't it?
No, I think I've made me mark, Graham. That's as brave as I'm going to be.
There's someone. Is that Shay? Shay,
That's Mr. Lindsay.
how are you doing?
Night, God bless you.
Oh, they're throwing snowballs at me. Colonel, they're going down my top.
Jesus sake, am I mad?
Oh, deep enough in it.
You
It
don't
is, yeah.
say Shay.
You do, Shay. You do.
Mr. Lindsay.
Ah, whatever. Mr. Lindsay. Mrs. Gillis.
Here, watch yourself there, pal.
It's gone in.
Here, I might bring an umbrella with me.
Might be a bit of an idea, alright. Oh, Jesus. I've done me bit now.
It's not going to stake me. They're all white. Spotty. Measles.
No, Mum, I think we're done.
What do you think, Nana?
What?
Of the snow?
Oh my God!
Great, isn't it?
Great, lovely.